Hi, I'm Jennifer from Flower Song Soap Studio, and I'm making bath bombs today. So I thought I would tape it and show you guys how I make bath bombs. So I make bath bombs 3 at a time, usually. And so this is a pre-measured mix of baking soda, citric acid, and Epsom salts. So this is a recipe that I developed. So I have my container for mixing, and this is an extra large container. That way I have some room to work. Molds. I notice I have everything set up already. The place to put the bath bombs, the molds are ready, all my equipment that I use to make my bath bombs. So we are making a North Country Meadow bath bomb. So this is a combination of lavender and spruce and patchouli. It's patchouli. No, frankincense. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I use 12 droppers of essential oil for 3 bath bombs. It works out to a little less than 1/4 ounce between the 3 of them, and that's about right. So by the time the bath bomb goes into the bath water, it gets diluted. So that's about 4 droppers per bath. It's about right. Some oils I use less, like the Absolutes. I can use less. I use about 1/3 of that. So you just mix in the oils. So when you add essential oils to the salt mixture, it doesn't trigger the citric acid reaction. When you get to the part of adding the water, you have to be a little more careful. Okay, so mix that up really well. It's kind of hard to tell with the clear essential oils how well you've mixed it. You have to just make sure there's no lumps. Usually there's not enough essential oil to actually start clumping. It's just enough to wet everything. So it should be pretty consistent, grainy mixture. You shouldn't really be seeing. If you see lumps, it's probably not mixed correctly. All right, so before I start doing the water, do my gloves. Always use gloves. Right. So this protects your hands, and it also protects, doesn't, you don't get anything from your hands into the bath bombs and vice versa. Okay, so here in Arizona, I happen to use distilled water for my bath bombs. I use it's about 20 spritzes is what it's going for today. It's different on different days. 5, 6, 7. Do them 10 at a time, so you want to mix it in slowly. Water will start the reaction with the citric acid. So you're going to spray some and then mix it in, spray some, mix it in. You can see in this container, it's kind of interesting. The salt sticks to the edges. So when that really starts clumping and sticking up there, that's how I know when it's pretty close to being mixed and ready to shape. So again, you just want to make sure there's no lumps. Or if there are lumps, it's pretty consistent. This part's kind of tedious, but it's an art. You need to practice and get to know how the humidity affects your humidity, and the different oils that you use affects your mixture. So I don't use any vegetable oils, so it's just the water, which is why I have to mix it so slow. Why it takes so long to mix. When you use vegetable oils, you can kind of dump it all in. It doesn't start the reaction. You have to be careful you don't add too much water, because then it gets really soggy, and that's when things start to really go wrong. You'll get a sticky mess, and it won't pop out of the mold correctly. Okay, so the test, we've done about 20 squirts now. Test is you take a handful and squish it, and if it stays together, so this isn't really staying together, it's falling apart still, you should be able to jostle a little bit and have it still stay together. different essential oils will make the mixture act differently. So just like in soap, when you use different oils, the mixture acts differently. It's the same with bath bombs. It's just different characteristics of the oils. Some oils, you know, the oils that are more astringent, obviously, they take a little more water. And the richer, thicker oils like lemongrass, that doesn't take as much water because it's very viscous. So typically the runnier essential oils take more water, relatively speaking. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's still dry. And you always want to make sure that you run some mixture up the side of the wall so you don't have drops of water. And I did invest in a KitchenAid whisk. This is pretty tough on the whisks. I've bent whisks in the past. With the super strength one. Okay, second a little better. Let's see. Squish. There you go. See how it's staying together? That's perfect. Okay. So, these are my 1/4 cup measuring cups. Not too original, but it works really well. So you want to squish the two halves together, and you should, there's just a tiny space there. They shouldn't be touching. If they're touching, you don't have enough mixture and they're going to fall apart. And it was touching on this side, so I'm just going to take a little bit more. And with these, of course, you got to make sure the handles never line up. Otherwise, you can't press it close enough together. So I do this little test. You give it a tiny bit of a squeeze right here, and if it pops apart, it's too dry or you don't have enough mixture. I'll just clean off the edges while it's wet, much easier. Yep. Do the next one. This one's touching, so it's not full enough. Just use like a third. It depends on how loose the original scoop was, how much you have to put in the second one. Okay, that's pretty good. Just give it a little jiggle and it pops right out. Okay, and again, give it a squeeze. Yep, doing good. Okay, this last one's a little bit tricky. I'm sure you want to try and use all the mixture. So my special equipment, the silver bowl, comes in. Oops. So I have my recipe down to work perfectly with my molds so that I don't waste any of the mixture. As little as possible. There's usually a tiny bit that falls off in this last press. Like that. Actually, this isn't pressed close enough. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Pops off. And we're done. 3 bath bombs. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested in buying any bath bombs, check the link in the message below the video, and see you next time.